Hello, my fellow Madison peoples. I'm sure we're all warm, cozy, safe, and healthy at home, hopefully. A lot of you have joined into the Google Classroom, and I've received communication from some of you, so thank you for doing that. If you were not aware, there is an assignment due this Friday for our environmental classes. You should see that in Pupil Path, and you're going to need access to the Google Classroom, to which I've invited all of you. My goal in making this video for you today is actually pretty simple. I've gotten a lot of students reaching out to me saying that this is really confusing or difficult, that they have to organize due dates for 5, 6, 7 classes at a time, and it's a lot to keep track of. I want to show you guys that Google has a couple tools that you can use in those classrooms specifically, but also as part of your Madison Gmail account to organize all of that, put your own custom appointments or reminders in, to try to organize your days a little bit more effectively so it's a little less confusing and overwhelming for you today. There are a lot of other apps that are useful. So if you click open this little 9 boxes over here, it opens your Google Apps. A lot of these apps are really useful, and you're going to want to play around with them to kind of get used to them. We are just going to be focusing on the calendar today. There are a couple different ways you can access calendars, and depending on how you get to them, they're going to look a little different. So I'll show you a couple different methods, and I'll tell you which one I think is going to be most useful for you guys to take charge of your education from home and keep organized amidst all the madness happening in the world today. So here I am in Google Classroom, and let's say I am a student in Period 2 Environmental Science. I want to check if I have work due by the end of this week or if I have work due next week. When you go into the stream, upcoming due dates in the week are shown here. So you see 8 p.m. our presentation research organizers are due, just to begin getting ready for those presentations that I still want you guys to do. We're going to be doing some light research. Next week, we're going to be putting together some of the presentations themselves and working with our group mates to collaborate on these presentations. Let's say we have a big project though, and I wanted to check due dates for, let's say, an essay for English that's due 3 weeks from now. But I have to start making drafts and finding my sources or whatever. If you go into classwork, this top link up here says Google Calendar. If I click this link that says Google Calendar at the top of classwork, this only works if you're on a computer, but I'll show you a couple other ways to get to it. It will show you a Google Calendar that actually automatically puts in due dates from your class. So you see, I kind of have a lot going on because I've been organizing my calendar for 3 different classes right now. But if we look here, if we go back, if we go forward and open the events and due dates that I have for Friday, you see a lot of them are just check-ins with students because I have office hours now. But one of those is the assignment due date for presentations. That's pretty helpful. But depending on how you get to this, if you click on the Google Calendar link inside of a classroom, it may just show you that classroom. You might have to click around between your 6 different classes to see all of your due dates in a calendar. That's really annoying. I'm a lot lazier than that. So I'm going to show you guys a little simple way. This is a good app to have on your phone too, the Google Calendar app. So if I open the lines on the left here, I also have a calendar link here. My favorite way to get to calendar to make sure that it always shows me the same thing for everything, open your Google Apps here and go to Calendar, or open the Google Calendar app on your phone. That will take you to this big old calendar that has all of your events in it. This calendar, as long as you're enrolled in Google Classes, will automatically include due dates for classes. But you can also create your own little custom events. So you can see here, I created a daily reminder at 9:30 a.m. Period 2. I am available in the Google chat for you guys. Period 7 and period 8, I'm available at 12 and 12:30. If you wanted to create that, for example, you need to make study time because you know you have a test at the end of the week. So I want to make sure that I remember I need to study on Thursday the 26th for an exam for a class. Press the plus button to create. Put in a little title that'll help you. Study time for test! Exclamation points. You can set a time frame. So for example, let's say it's a little later in the afternoon. Let's say 3 to 4. I have an hour to study. I can choose if I associate it with a specific class, but this is a personal event, so I'm just going to say, that's mine, Jay Reed, and save. There's a couple other nice little options here that you can provide or indicate if you press more options. You can make it repeat, so if you need daily study time for flashcards or vocabulary, you could select every weekday or to remind you every day at the same time you got to study. You could add in a location, but we're all home, so we don't really have no locations. You could also invite people as guests. So for example, study time, let's say I want to invite Devin to my study time. I think he's a good study partner, so I want him to hang out with me. You can add in like a teacher, you could add in your peers that you want to study with, whatever you want. Then they'll get a notification, and this should go on their calendar too to help with collaboration and keeping everybody's time in check. When you add somebody, it'll also create a hangout. We're not going to talk about that today, but it's basically a nice way to kind of FaceTime or video chat with one another, have a little like space in which you can kind of talk with one another and collaborate. I'm going to discard that because I do not need to study for any tests. And yeah, so again, pretty quick little video, but I just wanted to show students that you can use the Google Calendar to organize your due dates. It plays really nicely with Google Classroom, so if your teachers are good about putting due dates on all of the assignments, this calendar should be a great way to automatically remind you when things are due and to see it in a nice visual format. What I would like my students to do is to ensure that they are enrolled in all of their Google Classrooms. So not just environmental or science or whatever, but your math, your English classes, everything. And then I want you to go to Google Calendar. I want you to pull up the monthly view. You click this little drop down up here. You can look at the specific day, week. I want to see the whole month for you. So the month of March. And I just want you to take a screenshot of this calendar. You could take a picture of it with your phone, or if you're tech savvy, there should be a screenshot button somewhere on your computer. Take a screenshot of that and submit it to me. I just want to see that you have stuff going on in your calendar so that we have that organization there. And I know you guys are able to handle that. You should submit this in the Google Classroom under the assignment Preparing for Online Instruction. Just upload that picture and boom, you've got a little classwork grade. All right, as always, please reach out to me if you have questions or concerns, or you just want to talk to somebody during these trying times. You have my email. You can contact me through the Google Classroom. I'll also be, you guys have all been invited to these Google chat rooms. I made one for each period of science that I teach. So this is a great way if you want to ask something that your peers can see, or just have a slightly more casual conversation than dropping comments on rando assignments and announcements that I post in the Google Classroom. Yeah, and again, I hope you're all safe and healthy. This screenshot of your Google Calendar will be due on Monday. So if you're having difficulty getting into your other Google Classrooms, you have the rest of the week and the weekend
because you were on my naughty list
to set it up.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.